A man drowns beneath the ocean, while in his mind, he's being beaten bloody in a boxing ring that he opens his eyes, underwater. Then suddenly, he wakes up gasping in a bathtub. This isn't a dream, and the man beating him might be himself. Ryu Soo-yeol is a corrupt, self-serving police officer who believes the world runs on power, connections, and survival of the fittest. He drinks too much, lies too easily, and sells his integrity for promotions without hesitation. But when Soo-yeol wakes up from a near-drowning hallucination and discovers security footage showing him vandalizing his own car, his grip on reality begins to crack. At the police station, Soo-yeol interrogates fellow officer Kim Gishik, accused in the suspicious death of his partner. With calculated provocation, Soo-yeol pushes Gishik into exposing his rage, subtly implying that only one of the 3 men present that night could be the real killer. The interrogation isn't about justice, it's revenge. Gishik once sent the commissioner's nephew to jail, and Soo-yeol is more than happy to help destroy him in exchange for a promotion. But while Soo-yeol climbs the ladder of corruption, a young and idealistic officer named Oh Kyung-tae is quietly doing the job Soo-yeol abandoned long ago, protecting the innocent. Kyung-tae takes pity on a little girl searching for her missing mother, Young Yuna, a former drug offender recently released from prison. Unlike his superiors, Kyung-tae refuses to believe Yuna would abandon her child. His investigation leads him to her apartment, spotless, silent, and reeking of bleach. When he pulls blood-soaked hair from the bathroom drain, he knows something terrible happened. That's when Kyung-tae is brutally attacked by Detective Do In-bum, a violent officer with powerful political ties. Instead of helping, the system turns on Kyung-tae, branding him reckless and unstable. Soo-yeol is assigned to clean up the incident, not to uncover the truth, but to protect In-bum and a corrupt assemblyman tied to the case. Meanwhile, Soo-yeol begins experiencing terrifying encounters with a mysterious biker in black leather. A silent, brutal vigilante who appears out of nowhere, beats him mercilessly, and vanishes without a trace. Cameras never catch him. No witnesses exist, and every beating seems personal. As Kyung-tae digs deeper, he uncovers a horrifying truth. Yuna was murdered after secretly recording Assemblyman Do Yugon, who believed she was blackmailing him. The evidence was hidden inside a teddy bear with a concealed camera, a birthday gift meant for her daughter. When Kyung-tae finally retrieves the memory chip, In-bum attacks again, attempting to kill him and burn the evidence forever. At the same time, Soo-yeol, drunk on success and connections, finds himself dragged into a burning apartment by the biker. Inside the flames, Soo-yeol comes face to face with the consequences of his choices. The biker forces him to save Kyung-tae, or die with him. They jump. As fire rains down around them, the biker lands like a superhero, flames licking his shoulders. He removes his helmet, smiles, and speaks directly into Soo-yeol's mind. "It's nice to meet you, Ryu Soo-yeol." The truth is finally revealed. The biker is K, the embodiment of Soo-yeol's buried conscience, rage, and sense of justice. The man he used to be, the man he killed to survive. And now K is back to make Soo-yeol pay. In the aftermath of the fiery escape, Ryu Soo-yeol wakes up in a hospital bed with no memory of how he got there. His body aches, his head throbs, and worse, no one can explain what really happened. Jae-sun tells him the official story being spread inside the police force. Oh Kyung-tae attempted suicide, and Soo-yeol had been secretly monitoring him beforehand. Soo-yeol is stunned. That's not what happened. He knows Kyung-tae was attacked. Kyung-tae himself lies unconscious in another ward, wrapped in bandages, unable to defend himself as the narrative is rewritten around him. Elsewhere, on a desolate riverbank, Assemblyman Do Yugon and Detective Do In-bum finally watch the contents of the teddy bear's memory card. But instead of incriminating footage, they find only a heartbreaking birthday message from Young Yuna to her daughter. Furious and humiliated, Do bursts into hysterical laughter. After all that bloodshed, the evidence amounted to nothing. Or so he believes. Do shifts his attention to Soo-yeol. In-bum reassures him that Soo-yeol likely saved Kyung-tae without understanding the bigger picture. As for Kyung-tae, the odds of him waking up are slim. Still, Do warns In-bum. Kyung-tae saw his face. If he survives, everything collapses. Back at the station, Soo-yeol tries to tell the truth, that he pulled Kyung-tae from a burning apartment. But Bong-pil shuts him down immediately. Public opinion has already decided. Soo-yeol drove Kyung-tae to suicide. Bong-pil reminds him coldly that his promotion is on the line, and Suyul was warned to stay clean until evaluations ended. Obsessed with the mysterious biker, Suyul insists the man could be a witness. Jae-sun, increasingly alarmed, points out the obvious. No one else has ever seen him. Suyul suddenly realizes something unsettling. The biker knew where Kyung-tae lived. Maybe they were connected. Maybe the biker knows the killer. Jae-sun decides Suyul needs professional help. That's how Suyul ends up in the grimy office of psychiatrist Yeom Gun-soo, recounting his encounters with the biker who appears out of nowhere, beats him senseless, and vanishes without a trace. Gun-soo dismisses it as trauma-induced hallucinations. Suyul insists he saw the biker before the fire. When Suyul mentions the sauna attack, Gun-soo all but laughs him out of the room and prescribes sleeping pills. But reality keeps cracking. Suyul and Jae-sun revisit Yuna's apartment complex, uncovering that the credit card usage In-bum mentioned was fake, used by a friend, not Yuna. The contractor confirms Kyung-tae had been searching for a stuffed toy. Inside the bathroom, Suyul realizes something terrifying. The vivid dream he had of this place was real. He had been here before. The conclusion becomes unavoidable. Kyung-tae discovered evidence, and someone tried to erase him. Their investigation leads them to illegal cremation vans. Inside the ashes they find human bone fragments. DNA confirms the truth Suyul has been dreading. The remains belong to young Yuna. At Yuna's family home, Suyul watches her daughter In-sun struggle with hope and fear. When she asks if her mother is dead, Suyul can only say, "We don't know." Later, she quietly tells him it's okay to stop looking. The guilt in Suyul's eyes says otherwise. The breakthrough comes unexpectedly, from a delivery rider's helmet camera. On the night of the fire, In-bum was caught on video approaching Kyung-tae's apartment. But when confronted, In-bum turns the tables. A knife is found under Kyung-tae's water tank, his fingerprints on the handle, Yuna's blood on the blade. The story is complete. Kyung-tae is labeled a murderer who panicked and tried to kill himself. Suyul argues it's a setup. Bong-pil shuts him down with a final blow. Assemblyman Do provided In-bum an alibi. Then comes the reward. Kyung-tae is vilified on the news. Assemblyman Do's approval ratings skyrocket. And Suyul, despite everything, is promoted. Flowers cover his desk. Jae-sun turns his back on him. That night, Hee-jaeum confronts Suyul with a crucial revelation. Yuna was an informant for the murdered officer Min-soo. She wore a spy camera necklace. Suyul denies knowing anything, but panic flickers across his face. Trapped alone in a broken elevator, Suyul meets the biker again. This time, there's no escape. The biker, now calling himself K, sends the elevator crashing. What follows is chaos. A wild motorcycle ride through a shopping mall, brutal fights at the cremation gang's hideout, and the discovery of the spy camera necklace, the real evidence. Watching the footage confirms it all. Assemblyman Do murdered Yuna. Suyul stands on a bridge, ready to throw the truth away, until K steals it from him. When Suyul finally confronts K, demanding answers, K laughs and calls himself a hero, one who punishes rotten garbage. Then he jumps into the river and vanishes. But the illusion shatters at last. As K attacks Assemblyman Do in public, time freezes. The camera rewinds, and we see the truth. There was never a biker. It was Ryu Suyul all along. Every beating, every investigation, every act of justice. K is Suyul's buried conscience, the man he used to be, the cop he killed inside himself to survive. And now, that part of him has taken control. Suyul watches in absolute horror as K launches himself at Assemblyman Do. But the illusion finally breaks. From everyone else's perspective, there is no biker. It is Suyul himself, flying through the air and kicking the Assemblyman square in the head. He screams accusations, slaps Do repeatedly, and has to be dragged away by other officers. The moment ends with Suyul standing frozen, humiliated and confused, as reality slowly bleeds back in. But instead of accepting the truth, Suyul does what he's always done. He runs. Spotting K in the distance, he chases after him, only for the police to chase him instead. When he finally corners K, demanding answers, K only smirks and asks if Suyul has figured it out yet. Suyul slaps handcuffs on him in triumph, only to realize the cuffs have somehow appeared on his own wrists instead. As officers close in, Suyul flees again, officially branded unstable. Assemblyman Do, shaken but protected, convinces the commissioner to keep the incident quiet. Suyul, meanwhile, begs Hee-jae for help removing the cuffs and finally confesses everything. The necklace, the murder footage, Assemblyman Do's crime. When he claims K jumped off a bridge with the evidence, Hee-jae is sure he's lost his mind. That belief only deepens when she opens a safe in his apartment and finds K's helmet, gloves, motorcycle keys, and mementos from their past relationship. The truth is sitting right in front of her. Soo-yeol's shock is genuine. He has no memory of storing any of it. As pressure mounts, Soo-yeol admits something chilling. He cared more about promotion than justice. Yet even Hee-jae can't reconcile that selfish man with the one who attacked Assemblyman Do in public. Broken and desperate, Soo-yeol searches the river where K supposedly vanished, only to fail miserably. He collapses, sobbing that his life is over. The next stop is his mother's house where fate intervenes. Hanging from her neck is Yuna's spy camera necklace. His brother unknowingly recovered it. Relief floods Soo-yeol as hope sparks back to life. The footage is real but legally weak. Blurry. Inconclusive. Bongpil warns him they're hunting a shark. Still, Soo-yeol presses on. Assemblyman Do, sensing danger, snaps completely, beating In-bum nearly to death and vowing to kill again if necessary. Trying to rid himself of K, Soo-yeol turns to therapy. Hypnosis fails. Medication barely works. A bizarre mind control ritual seems effective, until K resists it, force-feeding Soo-yeol pills and gleefully revealing his name. K, the missing letter between I and J, the missing piece. As memories resurface, Soo-yeol realizes just how much of his life K controls. Messages sent, items stolen, violence committed. K knows everything. Meanwhile, stolen goods from the cremation gang resurface through Soo-yeol's brother Dong-yeol, who unknowingly sets a trap on the dark web. It works too well. The gang kidnaps Dong-yeol, hangs him upside down, and lures Soo-yeol into an ambush. Cornered in a supermarket, Soo-yeol begs K to save him. When he's knocked unconscious, K finally takes full control, rising like a force of nature and demolishing the gang with brutal creativity. When a knife is pulled, K grabs the blade with his bare hand, unflinching. Hee-jae arrives just in time, finishing the fight and arresting the gang leader. As she tends to Soo-yeol's bleeding hand, K gazes at her in fascination, whispering, "Is that her?" Confessions follow, but it's too late. Boss Yong murders In-bum before he can testify. Evidence is seized. Mom's shop is destroyed. Everything collapses. Assemblyman Do summons Soo-yeol to a club, a grotesque celebration of power and corruption. Soo-yeol begs, submits, hands over the necklace. In return, Do humiliates him, threatens him, forces him to drink, and finally plays the video of Yuna's final moments on a massive screen, relishing Soo-yeol's agony. Soo-yeol breaks. Later, alone and vomiting in a bathroom, drowning in guilt and self-loathing, Soo-yeol remembers In-sun's trembling voice, begging him to stop looking for her mother. That's when the phone rings. Someone is begging for help, and Soo-yeol must finally decide, keep surviving, or become the man K was born to be. A broken and humiliated Ryu Soo-yeol stares at his reflection in a washroom mirror, scrubbing his face raw as guilt crushes him. Just as he steadies his breathing, the phone rings. So Kyung-tae. Calling from a payphone, Kyung-tae reveals that he has regained consciousness, but someone is chasing him, and suddenly, everything snaps into motion. We rewind to the hospital, where Detective Do In-bum stands over Kyung-tae's unconscious body, syringe in hand. The liquid inside is clear, lethal. As he prepares to inject it into Kyung-tae's foreline, Kyung-tae's fist twitches ever so slightly. He's awake, but trapped in his body. Fate intervenes just in time. Police officers return from break, forcing In-bum to retreat. Seething, he lashes out at them before noticing the open window. Kyung-tae has vanished. In-bum searches outside in panic, unaware that Kyung-tae is hiding inside a cabinet, holding his breath until danger passes. In-bum drives off, only for Kyung-tae to emerge from the back seat, scalpel pressed against In-bum's neck. Kyung-tae demands the truth. Did you kill Young Yuna? In-bum denies it, then reveals the real monster, Assemblyman Do Yugon. When Kyung-tae doubts him, In-bum hands over a voice recorder containing Assemblyman Do's violent assault confession. Scoffing at Kyung-tae's chances, In-bum underestimates him and pays for it as Kyung-tae escapes with the evidence. Back in the present, Kyung-tae tells Soo-yeol that he knows Yuna's killer and begs for help. Soo-yeol rushes to leave, but destiny blocks his path. Assemblyman Du walks into the washroom. With a smirk, he dismisses Su-yeol and casually reminds him that Kyung-tae is waiting. The implication is clear. Meanwhile, Assemblyman Du learns that In-bum is dead and that Kyung-tae has the recording. Enraged, he orders his hired drug dealers to capture Kyung-tae alive. Su-yeol meets Kyung-tae in an abandoned office. Kyung-tae offers the recording, but Su-yeol coldly shuts him down. There's no explicit confession, no witnesses, and In-bum is dead. The case is unwinnable. Kyung-tae apologizes, thanking Su-yeol for being the only person he trusted. Outside, Su-yeol remembers how he once knelt before Assemblyman Du, sacrificing his dignity to survive. His resolve hardens. He makes the call. Soon after, drug dealers storm Su-yeol's old office. Assemblyman Du arrives, followed by Su-yeol, who refuses to meet Kyung-tae's betrayed gaze. Kyung-tae's voice shakes as he asks how Su-yeol could do this to him. Assemblyman Du clears the room and begins his performance. When Kyung-tae confronts him about Yuna, Du laughs, denying even knowing her, mocking Kyung-tae for having no proof. Su-yeol suddenly shoves Kyung-tae down and steals the recorder. Assemblyman Du orders Su-yeol to hand him a golf club, and then hell breaks loose. As Assemblyman Du savagely beats Kyung-tae, Su-yeol watches in apparent silence. Kyung-tae's blood stains the floor as he swears that he'll expose Du no matter the cost. Then the reveal. Flashback. Hee-jaeum secretly planted a mini camera inside Su-yeol's blazer. This was the plan all along. Su-yeol's betrayal was an act. Back in the present, Assemblyman Du finally snaps, screaming that he murdered Yuna because she deserved it. The room freezes. The confession is captured. Su-yeol explodes into action, kicking Assemblyman Du aside. As chaos erupts, the drug dealers return, helping Du escape. Kyung-tae, barely conscious, urges Su-yeol to chase him. Su-yeol promises he will. Su-yeol corners Assemblyman Du in the streets, but is beaten down by a drug dealer wielding brass knuckles. Then Su-yeol rises. His face flickers. K emerges. K demolishes the dealer and chases Assemblyman Du into a dead end, until Su-yeol stops him. This is personal. This one is his. Declaring the arrest, Su-yeol admits that the earlier attack wasn't him, but this punch is. He floors Assemblyman Du. Behind him, K smiles with pride. Assemblyman Du's crimes dominate the news. Kyung-tae survives, giving an interview from his hospital bed, wearing In-sun's clover bracelet, which makes her smile for the first time in forever. A rooftop barbecue follows. Kyung-tae, Su-yeol, In-sun, Jae-sun, and Yuna's brother sharing laughter and warmth. Su-yeol later shows In-sun her mother's final video message, giving her the space to grieve and heal. Though cleared, Su-yeol loses everything financially, having unknowingly donated all his money to a youth shelter. Forced to move in with his mother, he struggles to coexist with K, who now appears everywhere. They strike a deal. K gets 4 hours every night. But K has his own plans. At night, K rejects corruption where Su-yeol once accepted it, exposing bribe networks and returning dirty money. Su-yeol begins collapsing from exhaustion as the line between identities erodes. Doctors warn him, either K disappears or Su-yeol does. In prison, Assemblyman Du is stabbed by inmates but survives. During a prison transfer, chaos erupts. A staged crash. A masked intruder. Assemblyman Du is executed. Magne Kyung-jun is murdered in front of Hee-jaeum, leaving her the sole survivor and a suspect. As Hee-jaeum sits under interrogation, Su-yeol and K argue outside the room. Two halves at war. K watches Hee-jaeum through the glass, eyes filled with longing. Through tears, K promises Su-yeol that he will disappear forever if Su-yeol saves her. Tempted by peace, Su-yeol steps forward, activates the mic, and makes his vow. I'll save you, no matter what. And as the line between hero and monster fades completely, the price of justice is about to be paid. In the aftermath of the prison transport massacre that leaves Assemblyman Du and several others brutally murdered, suspicion immediately turns inward. Ryu Su-yeol is placed in charge of questioning Lee Hee-jaeum, the sole survivor, and the weight of that responsibility cuts deep. Coldly professional, Su-yeol raises a fact even he hadn't known before. Hee-jaeum's family debt. It's enough to plant doubt. Furious and hurt, Hee-jaeum demands another interrogator, but Su-yeol insists. He's not the one who doubts her. Others do. If she trusts him and follows his lead, he promises he'll clear her name. When Hee-jaeum returns to the station, whispers trail her steps. Some colleagues defend her, Others quietly condemn her. Gishik explodes at the infighting and orders everyone to stop, urging Hee-jayam to take time off. She refuses, she won't run. Elsewhere, Boss Yong's cartel reels from Assemblyman Do's death. Drugs have gone missing, and the cartel realizes something has gone wrong. Boss Yong orders all products pulled from the streets and commands that anyone still selling be killed, signaling a violent purge. Soo-yeol and Jae-sun comb through Hee-jayam's case files while Kay heckles from the sidelines, prompting Soo-yeol to forget, more than once, that Jae-sun can't see him. Slowly, a theory forms. Someone leaked the transport route. The prime suspect is Officer Jong-gu, previously accused of taking bribes and, ironically, the loudest defender of Hee-jayam. As Soo-yeol vows to analyze every scrap of footage, Jae-sun notices something new in him. Real conviction. Not ambition. Not fear. Purpose. At home, Hee-jayam struggles with the same question Soo-yeol asked her. Why did the killer leave her alive? The only eyewitness is a man nearly run over by the transport truck, but his face is obscured in photos. It's Kay who cracks the case. Snatching Soo-yeol's phone, he identifies a wristband worn by the witness and traces it to a nightclub, the same club whose ledgers Kay once stole and returned. The club owner refuses to cooperate unless he gets to return the favor. Kay asks Soo-yeol for permission to smash him with a bottle. Soo-yeol agrees, but Kay holds back. It earns them the patron records anyway. Outside, Hee-jayam appears, having noticed the wristband herself. While Kay hides behind Soo-yeol like a jealous ghost, Soo-yeol scolds her for investigating personally. It only deepens suspicion. Kay smacks Soo-yeol upside the head for his tone. Taking advantage of the distraction, Hee-jayam snatches the records and leaves. Their investigation becomes a strange trio effort. Kay manhandles suspects for face comparisons, lines men up like a police sketch parade, and generally drives Hee-jayam insane, while secretly doting on her. When she jokingly asks Soo-yeol if he has a split personality, terminal illness, or lingering feelings for her, Kay whispers that he likes her. Unheard. They finally locate the witness, but fear silences him. When Kay loses control and grabs him, the witness bolts. Desperate, Soo-yeol turns back to Dr. Gun-soo. As Soo-yeol and Kay argue openly in front of him, Gun-soo cancels his next appointment on the spot. Hypnosis resumes. Soo-yeol walks a long hallway of doors, each hiding fragments of memory. Flickering lights. A boy. A bicycle. Gun-soo quietly asks afterward if Soo-yeol suffered childhood amnesia. Before answers can surface, tragedy escalates. At Kyung-jun's funeral, tensions run high. Jong-gu complains of being tailed. Gishik tells him to stay quiet. Hee-jayam stops by, then spots Jae-sun and leaves. Later, Soo-yeol is startled awake at his desk by Kyung-tae, newly transferred to the team and thrilled to be there. Kay grins at him like a proud menace. That night, Hee-jayam returns home, only to find her apartment swarmed by police. A tip led them to drugs planted inside her home. Soo-yeol rushes over. He believes her, but the warrant is valid. With shaking hands, he personally handcuffs her. During interrogation, Hee-jayam wonders if she was the real target all along. Soo-yeol agrees the cartel would rather destroy a rising officer than a rookie. She refuses to suspect her team, especially Gishik. But the truth is already rotting beneath the surface. A flashback exposes everything. Gishik used Assemblyman Do to locate Boss Yong's stash. Together with Jong-gu, he orchestrated the transport massacre, ordering that Hee-jayam be spared, perfectly positioned to take the fall. Soo-yeol begins to sense it. When Gishik offers vague reassurances, Soo-yeol coldly states he'll handle things himself. The terrified witness finally cracks after Kay saves him from being run over. He admits the killer grabbed him and said, "We've seen each other's faces." Security footage leads the team to a junkyard. A black box reveals the killer's face. Jung Il-soo. Soo-yeol and Kay infiltrate the abandoned junkyard. They fight side by side in brutal synchronization, until Il-soo injects Soo-yeol with drugs. When Soo-yeol wakes, he's taped to a chair. Gishik arrives. He shoots Jong-gu, forces Il-soo to finish the job, then turns to Soo-yeol. Calm, methodical, in control. Soo-yeol survives by doing what he hates most, groveling. He praises Gishik's plan, offers silence, even allows his fingerprints on a syringe. Gishik accepts and frames Il-soo perfectly. The official report is airtight. The case closes. Soo-yeol collapses under the weight of it. Kay drags Soo-yeol to the rooftop and explodes. They fight harder than ever before. Soo-yeol wins, screaming that survival is all he has left. But visiting Hee-jayam in prison shatters that illusion. When she asks if Jong-gu might have killed Min-soo, something clicks. Soo-yeol reopens the case files and finally sees the lie. Gishik killed Min-soo. Everything Soo-yeol once accused him of was true. Kay watches him silently. Soo-yeol turns to him. This time we do it together. Kay smiles. They shake hands. And the real war begins. Just as Soo-yeol and Kay seal their renewed partnership with a triumphant handshake, the victorious background music screeches to a halt, like a needle dragged across vinyl. Kay's smile vanishes. Something has resurfaced. Quietly, sharply, Kay asks why Soo-yeol did that. Has he really forgotten? 2 months earlier, Soo-yeol was everything Kay despised. Drunk, compromised, and morally lazy. Inside a noribang, he schmoozed a shady businessman accused of drug use, reassuring him that the case would disappear. Stumbling into the hallway, Soo-yeol received a phone call from an unknown man who insisted that Sang-ho did not murder Min-soo and that proof existed. Soo-yeol ignored it. From the shadows, Kay watched, disgusted. Back in the present, Kay explodes. If Soo-yeol had listened, if he had acted, Min-soo might still be alive. Gishik might already be behind bars. The spiral didn't need to happen. Crushed by the truth, Soo-yeol doesn't deflect. He promises this time will be different. This time he won't run. Believing the caller was someone close to Sang-ho, Soo-yeol and Kay investigate Sang-ho's apartment. Among the clutter, Soo-yeol notices Sang-ho's Munyang University freshman application, a detail that quietly lodges itself in his mind. Meanwhile, Kyungtae and Jae-sun discover something damning. CCTV footage places Jong-gu away from Kyung-jun's funeral at the exact time Hee-jayam's apartment was broken into. The drugs planted in her home? Almost certainly fabricated. Soo-yeol follows another lead, a drug rehabilitation center brochure found in Sang-ho's home. There, he learns about Woo Hyuk-jin, Sang-ho's closest friend. Sang-ho had repeatedly rescued Hyuk-jin whenever he escaped during withdrawal episodes, carrying him back to safety. Hyuk-jin owed Sang-ho his life, again and again. The receptionist reveals where Hyuk-jin can be found. The junkyard. Burned by their last junkyard ambush, Soo-yeol hesitates. But Kay mocks him mercilessly. If they want answers, they'll need to blend in. Cue humiliation. Soo-yeol trades his tailored suit for filthy addict rags, gagging at the stench. When Kay offers to switch, Soo-yeol realizes the cruel truth. There's nowhere to hide from himself. Inside the junkyard, Soo-yeol is immediately inspected, grabbed, and checked for track marks. Thanks to Kay's foresight, he passes. He buys drugs, only to have them stolen by paranoid addicts who recognize him. To prove he's not a cop, they demand he inject himself. Panicking, Soo-yeol desperately calls for Kay, who refuses to switch in. Instead, Soo-yeol flails at thin air, screaming. The addicts laugh. He must be high already. That's when Soo-yeol spots movement inside a container truck. Hyuk-jin, shaking, barely conscious, dying from withdrawal. Soo-yeol rescues Hyuk-jin, narrowly escaping another attack thanks to Kay's intervention. At Guntae's office, Soo-yeol tries to piece together the truth, only for Hyuk-jin to destroy every assumption. Hyuk-jin wasn't the caller. And worse, Hyuk-jin killed Sang-ho. In a fragmented flashback, Hyuk-jin recalls running to Il-soo after learning Sang-ho was going to expose them and the corrupt cops protecting them. The guilt overwhelms him, triggering a violent psychotic episode. Guntae warns that these episodes will eventually kill him. The clock is ticking. Il-soo informs Gishik that Soo-yeol has taken Hyuk-jin. Enraged, Gishik orders retaliation, directing Il-soo's people to the women's detention center. There, Hee-jayam is ambushed by inmates sent to intimidate her. They don't kill her. They don't explain. They simply leave her shaken and terrified. When Soo-yeol confronts Gishik, the masks finally slip. Gishik accuses Soo-yeol of betrayal and threatens everyone he loves. But Soo-yeol sees it clearly now. Gishik is panicking. He's sloppy, emotional. That means Soo-yeol is close. Kyungtae and Jae-sun recover Hee-jayam's stolen metal from Jong-gu's abandoned car, proving her innocence. She's released. Outside the detention center, Soo-yeol waits anxiously. Kay practically vibrates with excitement. Hee-jayam smiles at Soo-yeol, and Kay nearly melts. When she opens her bag, it's stuffed with Kay's cringe-worthy love letters. Later, Soo-yeol finally tells Hee-jayam the truth. Gishik is the mastermind. Her devastation cuts deep, but clarity follows. She promises that the next time she sees him, it will be to arrest him. Hyukjin disappears. Soo-yeol arrives too late, finding Hyukjin dead under a tree from an overdose. Elsewhere, Chang-ki is threatened by Gishik, haunted by guilt over Min-soo, who once paid off his family's debt. Chang-ki finally cracks. He has evidence. At Min-soo's columbarium, Chang-ki hands over the video proof, Gishik murdering Min-soo. But victory is an illusion. Gishik beats Chang-ki senseless. Soo-yeol intervenes. Kei joins the fight. Together, Soo-yeol and Kei dismantle Gishik in flawless tandem. Mind and body finally aligned. Then Gishik laughs. Hee-jayam is dying. Chang-ki betrays Soo-yeol one last time, destroying the phone. Gishik escapes. Soo-yeol races to the junkyard, finding Hee-jayam unconscious inside a sealed truck. The doors lock. Coal briquettes burn inside. Death creeps in with every breath. Soo-yeol falters until Kei calls him what he's always been afraid of being. A softie. Rage ignites. Together, Soo-yeol, Kei, and Hee-jayam smash the doors open, bursting into the night air as the truck barrels forward. They cling to life. Exhausted, alive, united. This isn't just about catching Gishik anymore. It's about owning regret, choosing courage, and becoming the person you should have been all along. The driver spots them in his mirror. When he stops to investigate, he never sees it coming. Soo-yeol and Kei overpower him, forcing him to confess. He was driving them to a mass execution site, a grave already dug. They lock him inside the truck instead. Taking the wheel, Soo-yeol drives straight into chaos. At the burial site, Boss Yong's men wait beside the yawning pit. Egged on by Kei's gleeful recklessness and Hee-jayam's fierce resolve, Soo-yeol floors it, ramming vehicles, scattering supplies, and driving the criminals into the ditch like hunted animals. Sirens follow. Jae-sun and Kyung-tae arrive with backup, staring in disbelief as Soo-yeol's car skids to a stop amid the wreckage. He's finally lost it or finally found himself. Later, at Dong-yeol's pizza place, Jae-sun unleashes weeks of pent-up frustration, furious that Soo-yeol shut them out for their safety. Once the yelling subsides, Hee-jayam shares her discovery. Boss Yong's drug operation traces back to Russia. Kyung-tae recognizes the driver Andre Kong, the same man arrested alongside Assemblyman Du. They don't yet have proof, but Soo-yeol knows who does. Soo-yeol and Hee-jayam confront Il-soo, carefully dismantling his bravado by pointing out the truth. Gishik always planned to discard him. They offer Il-soo something better than fear, revenge. When pressed about the drugs marked with the red eye symbol, Il-soo cracks. The manufacturer is Andre. Elsewhere, Boss Yong admits she never trusted Gishik. He's expendable, useful only until he stops being so. While searching for Andre, tension gives way to dark humor. Kei sings obnoxiously in the passenger seat, thrilled to be around Hee-jayam. Soo-yeol snaps. Kei smirks. Is he jealous? The answer nearly causes a car accident. By sheer luck, Soo-yeol recognizes one of Andre's drivers and follows him, straight into another trap. Forced to hide inside a delivery truck, Soo-yeol and Kei once again find themselves sealed inside metal walls, sweating, bickering, and sharing water while Kei cheerfully makes things worse. When the truck finally stops, they uncover a treasure trove of Boss Yong's drugs. Proof. That night, the police raid the warehouse. Andre destroys evidence and flees, pursued by Jae-sun. Their fight spills outside, brutal and desperate, until Andre stabs Jae-sun in the abdomen. Soo-yeol arrives in time to save him. Face to face, Andre suddenly surrenders, whispering in Russian, "Long time no see." In interrogation, Andre refuses to talk, until he tries to bleed himself to death using his cuffs. Before Soo-yeol can break him, Gishik storms in. He's obtained permission to take over the case. Andre is pulled away. Gishik brushes past Hee-jayam and gives her the same old shoulder bump. It's the cruelest insult of all. Boss Yong summons Gishik with candy bags marked by the red eye, a warning. She demands compensation for Andre's capture. The seized drugs. They're too deep now to turn back. At the hospital, Jae-sun survives, cracking jokes even as Kyung-tae fusses over him like an anxious spouse. But beneath the humor, the message is clear. This ends tonight. Hee-jayam tails Gishik and Chang-ki as they retrieve the drugs. Acting alone, she confronts them. Gun shaking, resolve unbroken. Gishik mocks her, daring her to shoot. She can't. He uses Changki as a shield. Suyol arrives just in time, but Gishik escapes. The chase leads them back to the place where it all began. At the abandoned building, Boss Yong betrays Gishik, ordering his execution once the drugs are secured. Gishik retaliates, setting the drugs ablaze as Suyol and Kyungtae arrive. Inside, Suyol hunts Gishik floor by floor. A gunshot. Suyol is hit, but the vest holds. He tackles Gishik, beats him down. But Gishik still has a gun. The shot that rings out is Hee-Jaeim's. She wounds Gishik. He stumbles toward the ledge. Suyol grabs the money bag. Tears. Bills rain down like snow. Hee-Jaeim handcuffs Gishik to herself. It's over. As Gishik is led away, Kay tells Suyol he was never alone. He's finally strong enough to stand on his own. Hee-Jaeim breaks down. Suyol holds her. Later, at her home, shared memories surface. Old notes. Old habits. Old love. They kiss. Then again. And again. Changki confesses. Gishik is finished. But Suyol isn't done. He turns himself in for perjury and concealment, insisting on accountability. Bongpil eventually restores his job on one condition: therapy. In therapy, Suyol deflects every question. He keeps glancing at Kay. The therapist notices, mentions childhood. Kay stiffens, and the memories return. Suyol remembers his real name. In Jae-hee, a violent father. 6 months missing. Pain tightening in his chest. And Kay walking toward him, troubled, protective, still hiding something. The war against corruption may be over. But the war inside Suyol has just begun. For a moment, Kay looks less like a tormentor and more like a savior. The instant Suyol takes it, he snaps awake, jolted back into reality, seated in Guntak's chair after hypnosis gone wrong. Guntak scolds him harshly, warning that forcing open traumatic memories could permanently fracture his mind. Still disoriented, Suyol asks the question that haunts him most. Why does Kay exist inside his subconscious? Guntak speculates that Kay may be rooted in memories Suyol buried long ago, possibly from childhood. That theory grows more unsettling when Kay appears beside Suyol in his car, casually reassuring him that things won't end badly. Suyol presses him about his past, about life before and after his father's death, but Kay draws a complete blank. The only thing he remembers clearly is Hee-Jaeim, teasing Suyol about the kiss they shared, leaving Suyol flustered and unsettled by how deeply Kay knows him. The case takes a dark turn when a bruised, bloodied girl in a yellow raincoat staggers into a police station. In a trembling voice, she asks a chilling question. "My father is dead. Did I kill him?" She collapses immediately after. Beside her lies a blood-stained packet of the drug pupil. With the narcotics unit crippled, Suyol is ordered to investigate pupil and arrest Andre, partnered reluctantly with Hee-Jaeim. Their investigation leads them to the victim, former cop Baek Young-hak, a man Suyol himself once arrested and later let walk free. Inside Young-hak's house, Hee-Jaeim notices something disturbing. There is no trace of the daughter's belongings, as if she never lived there at all. The daughter, Baek Young-ju, remembers nothing of the murder. Kyungtae uncovers a crucial detail. Her homeroom teacher once filed reports of suspected domestic abuse. A devastating flashback reveals the truth. Young-ju once handed Suyol a ledger containing her father's crimes, begging him to arrest Young-hak so he would never come home again. Suyol didn't. He closed the case. That failure now crushes him. If he had listened, if he had looked closer, Young-ju might still be alive. Everything collapses when police recover a video from Young-ju's laptop. In it, Young-ju calmly stabs her father repeatedly, then turns to the camera and says the job is done. She smiles, relieved, claiming she can finally open her eyes. The room falls silent. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was instruction. Soon after, Young-ju attempts suicide. Desperate for answers, Suyol turns to Guntak, who identifies the signs immediately. Gaslighting. Victims with shattered self-worth can be manipulated into believing another person's will is their own, even to the point of murder. The question becomes terrifyingly simple. Who did Young-ju trust the most? The trail leads to Shin Ju-hyuk, a therapist at a youth shelter, and the same man treating Suyol. Evidence piles up. Ju-hyuk met Young-ju the day of the murder, and again before her suicide attempt. Suyol confronts him in fury, accusing him of exploiting Young-ju's trust. But Ju-hyuk plays a therapy recording that flips everything upside down. Young-ju was hostile, guarded, and distrustful. not manipulated. Then Joo-hyuk asks a chilling question. Why would a gaslighter let her record the evidence? The real manipulator wanted the video to be found. Haunted by the parallels, Soo-yeol confronts his mother and learns the truth. His real name was Jae-hee. He was found abandoned, bruised and bloody. Returning to his childhood home, Soo-yeol relives the beatings from his father, and finally sees his younger self run away from him. The migraine hits, and he's pulled back into the hallway of his mind. Standing before a locked door, K panics. He begs Soo-yeol not to open it. Soo-yeol forces it open anyway. Young Joo escapes the hospital and stabs Joo-hyuk. Before dying, she leaves behind a location marker, leading Soo-yeol back to his childhood home. There, in the shadows, young Joo waits. She speaks of self-loathing, of seeing herself as something rotten. She says that person is angry because Soo-yeol keeps looking in the wrong places. When Soo-yeol tells her the date, October 2nd, she smiles softly. It's time. She slits her own throat and dies in his arms. Young Joo was never the endgame. Someone orchestrated everything, the murder, the suicide, the locations, to reach Soo-yeol. Back at the station, Kyung-tae accesses Young Joo's dark web account. A message appears from a user named X. It's been a long time. We'll meet soon. When Soo-yeol demands to know who X is, the response freezes his blood. Look forward to it, Jae-hee. Someone knows his real name. Someone knows his past. And they've been playing with his mind from the very beginning. Soo-yeol freezes when the anonymous user X calls him by his birth name, Jae-hee. The moment hits like a physical blow. A violent headache drags him back into the endless hallway of his subconscious, where he storms toward a door he once feared to touch. Door number 1002. Now he understands. October 2nd, the day Young Joo chose to die. When Soo-yeol opens the door, he finds Young Joo standing silently in her yellow raincoat, looming over the bloodied body of his father. But then her face twists, reshaping into his own younger self. Panic consumes him. The hallway collapses, and Soo-yeol snaps back into reality, shaken to his core. Desperate for answers, Soo-yeol combs through old police records and uncovers a truth his mother never told him. His father didn't die in a fire. The blaze was staged to hide a brutal murder. His father was stabbed 12 times, and blood was found on a yellow raincoat, the same raincoat that keeps appearing. He rushes home, only to find his mother missing. Her phone and Alzheimer's medication are hidden away. With Dong-yeol's help, they find her disoriented outside the location of her old shop, confused by the passage of time. That night, she briefly regains clarity, long enough for Soo-yeol to confront her. The next morning, knowing her memories are slipping away, she finally tells him the truth. She found him years ago, bleeding, unconscious, and terrified. The police suspected him in his father's death, but she shielded him, convinced he was only a child trying to survive. She never believed he was a killer. You ran away to save your life, she tells him, and you grew into a man worthy of that trust. Soo-yeol finally confronts K, chasing him down the street in a rage. K admits the truth he's been hiding. He stopped Soo-yeol from opening door number 1002 because he was terrified that he might be the one who killed Soo-yeol's father. Gun-soo confirms the horrifying possibility that one of them may have committed the murder. The revelation nearly breaks K, who spirals into despair, clutching at himself as Soo-yeol physically restrains him from self-harm. But something doesn't add up. October 2nd wasn't the day Soo-yeol's father died. So why does it matter so much? The answer comes through another case, an old murder eerily similar to Soo-yeol's. A drug dealer stabbed to death. A yellow raincoat. A son initially blamed. And a man named Sung Bok-joon who confessed after suddenly remembering committing the crime. But Bok-joon's confession doesn't sound like memory. It sounds rehearsed. When Soo-yeol finds stacks of letters in Bok-joon's home, the truth becomes undeniable. Every letter is written in Bok-joon's handwriting, yet all are signed by the victim's son, Young Yoon-ho. The letters contain Bok-joon's confession word for word. Bok-joon wasn't remembering. He was taught what to remember. When Bok-joon attacks Soo-yeol, forcing his head underwater, Soo-yeol's mind finally cracks open. A buried memory surfaces. As a child, Soo-yeol once tried to drown himself. Yoon-ho stopped him. Yoon-ho took him to the youth shelter. Yoon-ho told him that some people needed to disappear for good. Otherwise their suffering would never end. That night, Soo-yeol types a name into the dark web chat. Young Yoon-ho. X responds immediately, Finally, you remembered me. The present mirrors the past. A boy named Young-hoon, abused by his brother, insists that it doesn't matter who killed him, only that he's dead. The same words Yoon-ho once used. The investigation reveals the truth. Young-hoon conspired with a battered shelter volunteer, Ki So-yeon, to kill his abuser. She carried out the murder while Young-hoon deliberately created an airtight alibi, copying the very method Yoon-ho perfected years ago. The raincoat, the knife, the manipulation. Soo-yeol finally catches Young-hoon mid-attack. As he looks into the boy's eyes, memories crash together. His father's corpse being carried away. Yoon-ho standing beside him, whispering thanks. Yoon-ho had promised that since Soo-yeol killed his father for him, he would return the favor someday. Reality snaps back. Soo-yeol realizes Young-hoon has stabbed him. As he collapses, the truth becomes clear. Inside his mind, Soo-yeol staggers down the hallway one final time. Door number 1002 opens, and this time, the boy in the yellow raincoat isn't him. It's Yoon-ho. Kay appears beside him, grounding him in reality. You got stabbed. And suddenly, Soo-yeol remembers everything. Yoon-ho killed his father. Relief floods through him, until Kay stops him. Kay looks down at his own hands. They're holding a bloody knife. This is my first memory, Kay whispers. I killed someone. And just like that, the final question remains unanswered. If Yoon-ho killed Soo-yeol's father, who did Kay kill? A long-buried memory finally resurfaces. In the past, on a lonely rooftop, Yoon-ho once made a chilling proposal to a broken boy named Jae-hee. If they killed each other's abusive fathers, Yoon-ho reasoned, their misery would finally end. He told Soo-yeol something that would echo across his life. You're stronger than you think. The same words later spoken by Joo-hyuk. Back in the present, Kay is shattered. He admits that while his memories are fragmented, his emotions are crystal clear. Rage, desperation, and the overwhelming urge to kill the man standing in front of him. Through tears, he accuses himself of turning Soo-yeol into a murderer and begs him to stop Yoon-ho, even if Yoon-ho is already gone. Before Soo-yeol can respond, he collapses from blood loss. When he wakes in the hospital, Hee-jaeum hovers anxiously by his side. Young-hoon is still missing. So-yeon remains unconscious, and Sungwon is under investigation. When Hee-jaeum hesitantly asks about the name Soo-yeol muttered in his sleep, K. Soo-yeol gives no answer. Guntae later reveals something shocking. K once came to him in the middle of the night, visibly tormented. Guntae suggests that K may not be a separate entity at all, but a protector personality Soo-yeol created as a child, one born to survive violence and shield him from unbearable guilt. This raises a terrifying question. If K exists to protect Soo-yeol, what did he protect him from? Meanwhile, the criminal underworld begins to stir. Boss Young senses something off about the use of pupil in recent murders. The drug is difficult to obtain, and she suspects someone deliberately used it to manipulate the market or to draw attention. That suspicion proves deadly. As threads converge, Young-hoon continues running, hunted, frightened, and still obedient to X's orders. Soo-yeol eventually finds him hiding at the restaurant where he works. He tries to stop Young-hoon from crossing the final line, promising to help So-yeon and begging him to walk away. Young-hoon almost believes him. Then the phone rings. It's Yoon-ho. Mocking Soo-yeol, Yoon-ho asks if Young-hoon reminds him of his younger self. By the time Soo-yeol rushes outside, Yoon-ho is gone, and Young-hoon disappears again. The final trap snaps shut near the hospital. Young-hoon captures Sungwon and beats him on a rooftop, convinced that if he fails, So-yeon will die. Soo-yeol arrives just in time to stop the killing, only to notice a hooded figure watching from a nearby rooftop. Soo-yeol chases him inside the hospital. The hooded man ambushes Soo-yeol, pinning him down and beating him mercilessly, triggering a long-suppressed memory. As a child, Soo-yeol watched his dying father while Yoon-ho, drenched in blood and wearing a yellow raincoat, grinned and whispered that since Soo-yeol had helped kill his father first, he was only returning the favor. Just as the hooded figure raises a blade, K appears. He rips the attacker away, beating him down with brutal efficiency. In that moment, Soo-yeol finally understands. K never killed anyone. He saved Soo-yeol. As the hooded man reaches for a scalpel, K stops him cold. He introduces himself with renewed confidence. Soo-yeol's hero, his action star, his K. But when Soo-yeol unmasks the attacker, the face means nothing to him. The phone rings. From outside the building, Yoon-ho laughs, watching through the window. He predicted this, the existence of another personality. As Soo-yeol seethes helplessly, Yoon-ho walks away untouched. With Young-hoon taken into custody, Soo-yeol personally drives him to the juvenile facility, stopping first at home. Soo-yeol's mother prepares a warm meal, and Dong-yeol remarks on how much Young-hoon resembles young Soo-yeol. For the first time, Soo-yeol tells Young-hoon the truth. His real name, his abuse, and how he survived because someone believed in him. Young-hoon listens quietly, the words clearly landing. Later, Soo-yeol visits Young-hoon again, delivering a lunchbox his mother prepared. All side dishes, no rice. They share a rare, genuine laugh. Hee-jaeum uncovers the truth behind Pupil, known in Russia as the Eye of the Dragon. Her investigation leads her to Boss Yong's candy factory, the production hub of the drug. Inside, chaos erupts. Yoon-ho appears from the shadows, eliminating both Andre and the hooded man. Hee-jaeum fights Boss Yong hand-to-hand, but Boss Yong escapes, leaving Hee-jaeum cuffed behind. When Soo-yeol arrives at the crime scene, the message is clear. Yoon-ho is erasing every loose end. K worries that now Yoon-ho knows about him, he'll try to exploit K's existence. He even wonders aloud if Soo-yeol should get rid of him. Soo-yeol doesn't answer. Instead, he goes to Joo-hyuk, and finally confesses that he has dissociative identities. Joo-hyuk admits he suspected as much and offers to help treat him. But the truth comes crashing down in a final memory. Young-hoon once witnessed Young-ju crying in Joo-hyuk's office. Joo-hyuk had calmly spread his arms, exposing his chest, encouraging her to stab him, just like Yoon-ho used to do. Standing outside Joo-hyuk's building, Soo-yeol recalls every phrase Joo-hyuk ever told him. They were all Yoon-ho's words. Soo-yeol looks up. On the balcony, Joo-hyuk is watching him, and Soo-yeol smiles, not in fear, but in certainty. Because now he knows. The game isn't over, and he finally understands the rules. With Young-hoon's testimony finally revealing the truth, Soo-yeol realizes that the man he trusted as his psychiatrist, Joo-hyuk, is in fact Yoon-ho, the mastermind who has been manipulating vulnerable youths into murder and suicide for decades. The revelation is devastating but also clarifying. When K asks whether Soo-yeol is confident he can catch Yoon-ho, Soo-yeol answers with quiet certainty, "Of course, I have you, but belief isn't evidence." Young-hoon's eyewitness account alone won't be enough to put Yoon-ho away. To truly expose him, Soo-yeol decides to become bait, fully aware that Yoon-ho's obsession with him is the key to ending this game. As Soo-yeol and K secretly investigate, Boss Yong steals Andre's body from the morgue and personally cremates him, her grief hardening into cold vengeance. Meanwhile, K struggles with rage, glaring at Joo-hyuk's photo and instinctively calling him Yoon-ho. Unable to separate the face from the monster beneath, Soo-yeol insists they continue pretending ignorance until they understand Yoon-ho's endgame. At his next therapy session, Soo-yeol deliberately steers the conversation toward the origin of K, stating plainly that K was born the day Yoon-ho murdered his father. Joo-hyuk carefully probes, then confirms something chilling. K didn't kill anyone. He saved Soo-yeol, protecting him from abuse and trauma when no one else could. When Joo-hyuk asks to speak directly to K, the atmosphere shifts. K sits beside Soo-yeol, fists clenched, barely restraining himself. And then the mask slips. Joo-hyuk openly reveals himself as Yoon-ho, smugly claiming a shared bond with K. He needles K by suggesting they both wanted Soo-yeol's father dead, deliberately pushing him toward violence. Yoon-ho's goal becomes clear. He wants K to lose control, to prove that Soo-yeol himself is dangerous and unreliable. When Joo-hyuk questions whether Soo-yeol truly knows who killed his father, K snaps, lunging forward. Soo-yeol barely stops him in time, realizing Yoon-ho is trying to destroy him from the inside. Fearing Joo-hyuk has recordings from past sessions, Soo-yeol and K break into his office after hours, hilariously disguised in high school uniforms. The moment of comedy contrasts sharply with the stakes, but the mission succeeds. They recover incriminating tapes. At the police station, the team watches footage of Joo-hyuk manipulating Young-hoon, calmly convincing him that murder is the only escape from abuse. Rage ripples through the room as they realize how many children may have been destroyed this way. Yet one critical piece is still missing. Proof linking Yoon-ho to drugs and Andre's murder. For that, they need Boss Yong. Yoon-ho strikes again. Bak-joon receives another letter, urging him towards suicide. Soo-yeol arrives just in time to save him, revealing that he, too, was once a victim who doubted his own memories. Soo-yeol begs Bok-joon to survive, because living may be their only way to stop Yoon-ho. But Yoon-ho stays one step ahead. Boss Young ambushes Soo-yeol, demanding the identity of Andre's killer. In a tense standoff, Soo-yeol proves his resolve by laying down his weapon, risking his life to gain her trust. She finally agrees to cooperate, becoming their key witness. Still, resistance comes from within the system. With shaky evidence and political pressure mounting, Soo-yeol is ordered to arrest Joo-hyuk immediately, or risk everything. Before the arrest can happen, Bok-joon calls Soo-yeol, claiming he knows who Yoon-ho is. Soo-yeol rushes to an abandoned warehouse, only to find Bok-joon spiraling, knife in hand. Bok-joon mistakes Soo-yeol for Yoon-ho and attacks him, screaming about betrayal. Then Joo-hyuk appears. Like a savior, he comforts Bok-joon, only to slice his throat without hesitation, killing him on the spot. The act is cold, precise, and final. K explodes with rage, beating Joo-hyuk down and raising the knife to kill him. Joo-hyuk laughs, delighted to finally meet K face to face. Soo-yeol pulls K away at the last second, refusing to give Yoon-ho what he wants. "You're finished," Soo-yeol tells him. But the nightmare isn't over. During interrogation, Joo-hyuk denies everything, speaking of Yoon-ho as if he were a separate person, then drops the ultimate bombshell. He claims K and Yoon-ho are the same, and that Soo-yeol himself committed the murders. With no solid proof left, Joo-hyuk walks free. The fallout is brutal. Soo-yeol's mother is manipulated into believing Soo-yeol killed his father. A bloodied knife is planted in their home. Soo-yeol is isolated, doubted, and investigated. Even his allies are forced to step back. When Soo-yeol confronts Joo-hyuk at the station, rage finally overtakes him. He attacks him publicly, and moments later he's arrested for attempted murder. Soo-yeol now sits in a hospital prison ward, silent and medicated. Doctors insist K is gone, cured by treatment. When Hee-jaeum asks about K, Soo-yeol blankly replies, "Who's that?" But it's a lie. That night, Soo-yeol secretly spits out his pills and hides them beneath his mattress, revealing dozens more. And then, in the darkness, K appears, alive and grinning. The two grapple playfully, strength and trust restored. "Are we ready?" K asks. Soo-yeol nods. The game isn't over. It's time to finish Yoon-ho once and for all. Soo-yeol's imprisonment becomes a battle of will. Again and again, he attempts to escape his cell, pushing farther down the gated hallway each time before guards drag him back. Bruised and exhausted, he finally lies motionless on his bed, staring blankly at the ceiling while K tries to coax him into playing games, refusing to let his spirit die. But Soo-yeol isn't broken, he's waiting. As memories of every absurd, painful, and dangerous ordeal he's survived with K flood his mind, Soo-yeol regains his sense of self. Quietly, methodically, he grinds the pills he's been secretly hoarding into powder, pouring it into a water bottle. During an art therapy session, he spikes the shared hot water kettle, all while scribbling chaotic drawings that are actually a detailed map of the facility, marking blind spots free of security cameras. When the drugs take effect, Soo-yeol moves. Having uncovered that one of the doctors is secretly trafficking narcotics, Soo-yeol blackmails her into arranging his escape via ambulance. Though she orders him killed en route, Soo-yeol and K fight their way free without hesitation. His escape sends Bong-pil into a panic, not only fearing for Soo-yeol's life, but for his own career. Soo-yeol doesn't run far. He checks on Mom and Dong-yeol from a distance, unable to risk approaching them. Meanwhile, Hee-jaeum, Jae-sun, and Kyung-tae scramble to predict his next move, finally realizing that Gun-soo's abandoned office may be the key. They're right. Soo-yeol confronts Gun-soo, furious that he disappeared when his testimony was needed most. But soon, strategy replaces anger. Soo-yeol needs to destroy Joo-hyuk psychologically, not physically. Gun-soo theorizes that exposing Joo-hyuk's stolen identity would unravel everything. That raises a chilling question. Who was Joo-hyuk before Yoon-ho stole his name? While Soo-yeol works in the shadows, Young-hoon secretly records every conversation with Joo-hyuk, pretending loyalty while gathering evidence. His fear is real, but so is his resolve. The team traces the identity of Andre's killer to a shuttered clinic once run by Gun-soo. Digging through old records, they finally uncover the truth. The man with mutilated fingerprints was named Shin Joo-hyuk. Yoon-ho didn't just manipulate lives, he erased them and wore their names. But Yoon-ho strikes first. He breaks into Gun-soo's office, calmly addressing a hidden camera he installed months earlier. When Soo-yeol arrives, Gun-soo lies bleeding from a stab wound, and Yoon-ho is gone. At home, Soo-yeol finds devastation waiting. Mom, shaken by a mysterious letter, no longer recognizes him as her son. Believing he's an imposter, she locks Dong-yeol out and threatens Soo-yeol with broken glass. Blood spills as he struggles to disarm her, until he reaches her through her own words about trusting the frightened boy who ran away to survive. She collapses into him, sobbing. Outside, Yoon-ho calls. He taunts Soo-yeol, claiming every attempt to help others only leads to pain, insisting once again that killing Soo-yeol's father was salvation. Soo-yeol finally fires back the truth. Yoon-ho never saved anyone. He only used victims to justify murder. That strikes deep. Yoon-ho proposes one final meeting. Soo-yeol returns to the house where everything began. As Kay reminds him that trust in himself matters most, Soo-yeol steps inside. Yoon-ho waits in the shadows, repeating his warped belief. Killing your father was the only way to save you. Then, with cruel precision, he sets the house on fire, revealing that Young-hoon is trapped inside. Paralyzed by trauma, Soo-yeol drops to his knees, until Kay reminds him they've faced fire before. He runs inside, but Yoon-ho is ready. A syringe pierces Soo-yeol's neck. Kay collapses in pain. When Soo-yeol refuses to beg, Yoon-ho stabs him, satisfied, and leaves him to die. Bleeding and barely conscious, Soo-yeol finds the strength to carry Young-hoon out himself, drawing on every word of love and belief he's ever received. He throws himself in front of Yoon-ho's car. The final fight is brutal. Yoon-ho is stronger, trained, merciless, but Soo-yeol refuses to fall. With a wild, familiar grin, he smashes his own head into Yoon-ho's, dragging him down with sheer will as sirens approach. As consciousness fades, Soo-yeol wanders the memory hall, calling for Kay. When Kay appears, smiling softly, he tells Soo-yeol it's time to say goodbye. He gives him his full name, King. They joke, they tease. Then Kay grows serious and tells Soo-yeol he's a good person. As Kay walks toward the door, Soo-yeol remembers something crucial. Kay once told him to thank himself, because he saved himself. Soo-yeol thanks him anyway. Kay disappears, but not quite. Soo-yeol runs after him, only to find Kay crying just beyond the door. They embrace as the hallway lights go out one by one. Soo-yeol wakes in the hospital. Young-hoon survived. Yoon-ho's identity theft is exposed. Soo-yeol's name is cleared, but Kay is truly gone now. During reinstatement, Soo-yeol refuses to dismiss Kay as fiction. He was real, he says firmly. He was crazy, but he was good. Life moves forward. Young-hoon joins Dong-yeol's delivery business. The family heals. Soo-yeol returns to the force, his story sparking open discussions about PTSD and mental health among officers. Later, when Hee-jaeum shyly asks who kissed her that night, Soo-yeol or Kay, he realizes the truth before answering. Kay doesn't appear anymore, but his spirit remains. Soo-yeol walks back into the same corrupt nightclub where his downfall began. This time, he doesn't take the bribe. He exposes it. When Day One threatens him with higher powers, Soo-yeol doesn't flinch. He marches straight to the commissioner and launches a flying kick, echoing Kay's greatest moments in a triumphant montage. The cycle ends not with rage, but with choice. Soo-yeol didn't need a hero anymore. He became one. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on notification bell above to never miss any of our drama. Bye. See you in the next one.